that's why too, sometimes this card, infatuation, really works as a definition for this card. But I see that as kind of wearing off. But I see it also as a maturing into strength here. You can see that this is actually the maiden who is strong, who is its strength through softness. She's not forcing these jaws of the lion open. She's encouraging them through her own strength, her own fortitude. You can see she's very calm. She's very much at peace. And she's able to hold this lion, which seems like an impossible feat. But she's able to do that through her softness, through her stability, through her conviction, through her fortitude and endurance. So this is potentially a younger water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, that is somehow not involved in the situation. Or I'm actually getting that this is the younger side of you, Leo, where maybe if infatuation is wearing off, or there's some way where you're not able to access what has made your heart leap in the past, it's actually because you're maturing, and it's more like this quiet feeling of strength and solidity. You know, if you look at the difference between these two cards, it's casting off, you know, I'm hearing this theme from the Bible. I think it's Ecclesiastes or something like, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, and now that I'm an adult, I act like an adult. Or, you know, I'm not saying that phrase quite correctly, but it's like you're casting off things of what it was as a child, and it may be like not feeling as infatuated or not as sort of your heart leaping as adolescence can sometimes be, but it's more of a tempering. It's a quieting where there's a lot of strength here. So even if it feels like the gown is fading, like this is pink, you know, passionate energy, and it's fading more to this white peacefulness, this can feel like boring. This can feel like it's just more mature energy. So I get the sense that something that is adolescent, or that is of infatuation or passion, or perhaps even over emotionality, just not necessarily over emotionality, but some sort of form of emotionality, maybe feeling like it's calming down. Just understand that it's because you're becoming stronger. It's more mature. You're actually far more capable in this card than this card. There's more experience, there's more wisdom, there's more strength. So I'm also getting that through taking time out to reflect, you may get some insights about things. Four of Swords is I call this card like R&R. So rest and relaxation, taking time out from a battle to fight another day, not engaging in any sort of fight. You know, it's funny, I'm seeing too, you as you retreat from something, this guy who wants to fight and criminal behavior and me, he just takes off. I kind of see this as non-engagement, Leo, with any sort of fighting or ego battles. It's really funny. Like, as you sort of check out and you're just like, I've got my armor on, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm not going to get into that. I'm hanging my thoughts here up on the wall. These are ideas, thoughts, and hanging them up on the wall. I'm not fighting with these. I'm not engaging in sharp verbal agreements. I'm just hanging it up and kind of thinking about things, musing about things, taking a rest, taking a time out. This is really healing energy for you. And it kind of doesn't allow room for any of this Seven of Swords energy. This is criminality. This is me. This is, I'm going to see what I can get away with. This kind of is kind of a scoundrel type energy. And it's all about swords, which is all about, words and in this case, fighting and just cutting corners, thinking of themselves, selfish, egoic. This is like the ego. So you kind of have a choice here at the beginning of February. Do you want to engage with this guy? Or do you want to, you could run after him if you want to like battle him and say, hey, why are you taking all those swords? He's definitely not being fair. He's being unjust. But there's something here that's to me saying you really have an opportunity at the beginning of February. You're quite capable. You're actually, this is where you're at, is to just sort of rest in your strength. That's what strength and Four of Swords together says, resting in your strength. And you're not engaging in that ego battle. You're resting, you're armored, you're peaceful, you're safe, you're not engaging in battle. That's what I'm getting for the beginning. You're kind of too mature for it. You're not falling for it. It's great, Leo. I love it. I mean, this is lion energy, right? That's you. So, and notice that as you do that, he goes off to like find somebody else to do ego battles with. He wants to like do all this swordsmanship, engagement, taking what's his, cutting corners. I can get more swords than are mine. Like, it's really like a power grab is what I'm getting from this guy. You're not up for it though. You're like, I'm a Leo. I'm just gonna be like a lion sitting in the sun. I'm just gonna like rest and contemplate the universe that I feel like I want to think about. I'm not engaging in battle today. Sorry, Charlie. So good for you, Leo. Strength is your guiding card for the beginning of February. Then, oh boy, look at what you got at the middle of the month, Leo. 2 aces, double ace energy. When you have 2 aces like this, they amplify one another. If you think about like a sound wave, when you get 2, they amplify each other. So big new start here, of the start of something new in the beginning of February. And it has to do with the material physical world, as well as enthusiasm, inspiration, action, vitality. You're going to have a lot of energy coming to you at the middle of the month, as well as potentially money or new lifestyle. This could be like having the enthusiasm to start a new job that brings money to you, Leo. This could be like a creative endeavor where the world wants to hand you this new spark of enthusiasm, this new vitality, this new energy. This Ace of Rods has to do with the same image of the baton twirler who throws the baton at the opening of a parade. If you think about that, he's the one out front leading the charge. Or if you think of a race that's being run, like a relay race, this is the person who is the active element, who is holding the baton, who's going forth. So, and it's almost like new spring energy. This rod is full of life. And it's a receptivity. So it's saying there's this garden that is available to you if you decide. Okay, so it's sort of like a garden that you can walk into if you so choose. Basically, new things are coming in the middle of February. And I believe this is eclipse season. So that's kind of interesting too. With eclipses, I'll have a different video on the eclipses, but it can mean like letting go of old stuff, new stuff coming up. But for you especially, it is a new beginning, a new opportunity, especially in terms of inspiration, action, vitality, and potentially new money coming in. New job, new resources, new lifestyle. This is all good stuff, Leo. So embrace that, receive it at the middle of the month. It's really like a sunny day. The skies are clearing for you at the middle of February. And a lot of it too, by the way, has to do with you standing in your strength. The fact that you are not willing to engage in any of this nonsense, it's keeping you firm. It's keeping you strong. It's actually giving you options. If you look at this from strength to Ace of Coins to Seven of Cups, this is all about having options. You may also have to like not give an ear to any naysayers or gossip or chatter or what I call the peanut gallery. In the upright position, 3 of Cups is like supportive friends or family or like-minded people. It's celebration. It's friends around you. But in the reverse position, 3 of Cups can be like what I'll call like the hens clucking in the coop. You know, I call this the peanut gallery. This is just people who want to gossip. They don't really have your back. They are like, can be co-workers or in the office or just, you know, even people commenting on social media. This is a surrounding environment that doesn't necessarily support or lift you up. But you know what? It's kind of just like little stuff that you can just ignore. And I get the sense that you're able to do that, Leo. If you've got family members or people around you that aren't supportive of what you're doing, tune them out. You have the strength to do that. There might be a little bit of what I'll call the peanut gallery, like giving their 2 cents or gossiping. Sometimes 3 of Cups in reverse can be gossip. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about them. Look at what you've got coming in the door. And then also there's a Knight of Cups here. So this is a message of the heart. So whether this is a message from you to someone else or someone else to you, I'm getting this in the middle of February for you, Leo. So this to me says like Valentine's Day, heart energy. Go express to someone how you feel about them or receive a message from the heart. You know, Knight of Cups is, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I come with a message. That's Mercury Hermes stuff. He's wearing the messenger helmet and he's carrying a cup of love. So share your love with someone else or receive love from someone else or both. It's really a card of bravery having to do with the heart, a message of the heart. Share your message. Maybe this is sending out Valentine's cards to your loved ones. Maybe this is sharing your love with a loved one, you know, saying what's on your heart. Whether it be, you know, positive or negative, just sharing your heart with someone is a very powerful thing, as well as receiving heart energy. That's another message of this card. So that's showing up as a nice, as you're beginning your new thing in the middle of the month here, Leo, there's also heart energy, a message of love showing up there too. Then towards the end of the month, I see, it's interesting. I see that you could be feeling not as full, as radiant, as abundant, as prosperous, as creative as you normally are, Leo. That's okay. You know, take a break if you need to. It's in line with this Page of Cups, this 3 of Cups, and then Empress. These are all like young women, you know, young women, middle-aged, or, you know, young, older than young. How about that? And then she is like the mother. So I see this as a transition. Again, this interesting theme of maturity, going from the young adolescent to the adults here. And then she's the mother. So there may be a way, Leo, in which this mother, this trend, even though it's under the surface, because these are all in reverse, there may be a transition from going from the perception of yourself from young through adulthood into motherhood. For some of you Leos, that might be happening under the surface, out of your range of vision, in the unconscious, in under the surface. So if you are feeling right now, Leo, at the end of the month, not your normal prosperous self, not your normal creative self, not connected with abundance, not creative with productivity, with growth, with all the things that Empress represents, don't sweat it. It's okay. You're going to have lots of options. You have lots of other stuff going on. It's just that stuff might be happening under the surface. For some of you, I'm actually getting that you may get a pregnancy that's unexpected, that comes out of the blue. It's possible. So, or some of you may become pregnant without knowing it. Just a possibility with this evolution, all in reverse. So be aware of that, Leo. That's something that if you've been wanting that could happen without you even knowing about it. I mean, obviously you'll know about it on some level, but it may be unexpected. And then here is lots of options. If you aren't having growth and productivity and prosperity and abundance through your normal channels, it actually shows here with Ace of Coins and with 7 of Cups that you may have more options than you know what to do with towards the middle or end of the month. There could be a lot of things where you're having to choose between different doors, or you're having to choose between multiple options. Notice in this card that it's one thing. In this card, you know, there's extra amount of this fog or these clouds because there's so many things. And sometimes when we have too many options, things can become unfocused. Things can feel scattered. We can feel like, oh gosh, I don't know what decision to make because I've got so many. See if you can really look these things in the eye, do some research, write down pros and cons. This is really a card of being practical versus going with fantasy, because Seven of Cups can be really like fantasy land. I call it sometimes Las Vegas, or getting seduced by the glittery options and things, and it's all not what you see is not what you get. So when this card comes up, I say, do your homework, do your research, check out what has been satisfying to me in the past. Are things what they seem to be? Because you have something good coming in. You might have to just choose. Be careful about your choices, because you may have lots of choices. And what I'm seeing for you, Leo, in February is that what your reward comes from is just choosing one option for now. If you may have multiple, you may pull yourself in multiple directions. Things could get hazy and out of focus when you have too many things going on or too many options to choose from. Things start getting very Neptunian, very hazy. This is clear day. Clear as day. I want this one. I received this one. It's money. It's new lifestyle. It's assets. It's in alignment with my inspiration and my enthusiasm. That will tell you which choice to make. And then at the end of the month, you have 5 of Swords in reverse and Hierophant in reverse. So this is, I call this card picking up the pieces. If there's something that's ending, Leo, try to see what the silver lining of it is, or try to see what wisdom and insights you can get from it, because you may be having a hard time accessing that. When 5 of Swords is in reverse, it's interesting how both of these are showing up in February. This is this is hidden dishonor, and this is open dishonor. What's cool is you're not participating in either of those. They're in reverse. But it may be difficult to see that there are wisdom and insights and pieces of information and knowledge that are to be gained if you can choose them. There's something that in this card the sun is setting on, the battlefield has happened, but there are things to collect. So I'm going to say at the end of the month, if you scan the horizon for what seems to be a deserted, empty battlefield, there actually are things, gems, treasures, resources, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, all those swords themes that you can collect and take with you for future reference. I kind of see this as learning from any battles or conflicts that have gone on. And then Hierophant in reverse says that you might want to try a different approach to things that is not so traditional, not so conventional. I'm actually seeing that wisdom from having done things a certain way before will lead you to trying something different and new, again with this new ace energy, something kind of against the mold, against the normal social moire of things. Hierophant is all about society, doing things according to rules, conventionality, traditionalism, all of that. With these in reverse, I'm seeing that these pieces of wisdom and insight allow you to take a less traditional path, a less conservative path. So, for example, in part of your experience, if you learn how a particular skill, which is swords energy, you may be able to apply it in a way that is not traditional or conventional, into like an unconventional career or an unconventional way of doing something that is not necessarily traditional. That could actually be very that could serve you well if you are able to gather these insights from your past.